I have told a lot of stories on this show, and they've all centered around being a voice for the voiceless because a lot of people, men in particular, go through things that they don't understand why they're going through it. My guest today outlines that and then some. So, what does he do when something knocks him down? The same thing I do. You push over it and you push through it and you keep pushing. Brian Haynes is next. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up. Bang! Quality over quantity. LeBron has beaten some of the best competition in NBA history. He's the GOAT emoji. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not swear. I will not swear.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Welcome to the latest and the greatest edition of the Brian Snow Show. I am he. Welcome in on this Wednesday afternoon. And I tell stories on this show and centered it around people who have been in extraordinarily difficult situations, but they're still here. I have one of those stories. So I decided to build the show around that. When someone asked me earlier, what can your show actually provide? And he did it with a sneer. So here's one of my answers. This fellow is the inventor of something we like to call PixSeat. He's going to tell you about that and a few more things right now. Please help me welcome Mr. Brian Haynes. He joins
Thanks
me
so
right
much,
now.
no man.
How are you,
You
man?
having me on? I am good.
What led you to start this? What led you to PixSeat?
Well, there's a little bit of a background story there. My first name is Bryant. I was named after Alabama great Bear Bryant. So that's a sort of a defining factor for me. My dad was in Vietnam. He had read in a newspaper that Bear Bryant was going to be leaving Alabama. He wrote a letter to the Bear and said, "Coach, please don't leave Alabama. Let something in America be normal when I get home." And the Bear wrote him back and said, "Young man, you come home and I will be here when you get here. Roll Tide." So my dad got home. 11 months later, I was born and I was named Little Bear. My name's Bryant. I ended up going to Alabama for my undergraduate degree. I've been a Bama fan my whole life. Growing up, for the parts of my life where I lived in Tuscaloosa, I would show up at the Alabama football games in a Cub Scout uniform. I was with the scout troop, and I'd help people find their seats so that I could stay and watch the games for free. I didn't have a seat, but man, I'm about as big of a sports fan as there is. I've lost my voice more times than I can count at these games.
I get that.
Yeah, and that's a necessary part of it. That's the sacrifice you make. But I was at the Alabama LSU game. I think it was in 2016, and they were doing the wave going around the stadium. It was pretty cool. It looks neat, and sometimes you can get to go around 10 times or more. But I was thinking, there's got to be something to make this better. You know, we're a modern society. This is something they could have done in the Roman age. And I'm a nerd. I'm a tech guy. So I thought, I got to figure out a way to make this better. I didn't have an answer. The following weekend, I was at my son's high school football game. And on the other side of the stadium, the visitors, they were holding up their phones with a flash. And you could see the lights from that. I thought, that's not it. That's low tech. We got to do something better. So I invited a bunch of friends over to my house, gave them each something to put on their screen, one color screen to hold up, had them all stand out in the street. And it created a very simple, low resolution image, but I could see it. And I was like, that's the ticket. So then I decided we're going to build this out. We're going to make a mosaic out of the fans. So we created PixSeat. Now we're getting ready to launch where every fan in a stadium is a part of the picture. And we create images and animations across the audience in ways that's never been done before. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. And it's a different model from our competition. So that's sort of what drove me to make it more fun for the fans and not just about a wave of light, but real images and icons and animations. So that's sort of what drove me here. And I'll tell you that I couldn't have got here. I all but gave up on it. I went through a divorce. Uh, I hated myself. I hated life. I gave up on everything. I believed I was nothing. I couldn't get anything done. I met the most wonderful woman in the world, and I married her. Well, she married me. So Rebecca is now my wife and my best friend and my business partner. And last August, she said, Bryant, I was in the middle of a funk. I could not get work. And she says, Bryant, we need to build PixSeat. You got this plan laid out. Let's just build it. I couldn't have an excuse. I didn't have an excuse to not do it. So I started working on the patent, got that submitted in just a few weeks. Now we're patent pending. And now we're pushing through. We've got, I'm not allowed to name names. We've got a letter of intent with a major university that might be an easy guess for you. We've got an ongoing discussions with another significant size university. And then we're in discussions with a couple of NFL teams, with FIFA for soccer. And we've got 3 former NFL Super Bowl champions on our PixSeat board team. So we are on the right track, but I am finding none of this is easy. We are plowing through, pushing, backing up and punting, and then starting over again on a regular basis. And a dear friend of mine named Luke, he asked me recently, how are you making so much progress? And I'm like, progress. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're making progress. Like, it feels like I'm working 90 hours a week and not getting anything done, but we're making progress. We're doing okay. It's just not easy. It's not simple.
It's not.
That's what got us started. The impossible is what got us started. Feeling like we couldn't get anything done, not getting the opportunities we needed, and just creating something out of nothing.
Let me ask you this, and this is very personal to me as it is to you, because we had a chance to talk before we came on the air. How do you continue to believe in something that others won't? What continues to drive you?
You know what? I've worked on some crazy stuff in my life, and I've throughout my career where we were doing the impossible. In my personal life, I've faced the impossible more times than I can count. Like I said, I was pronounced dead at the scene of an accident when I was younger. I've had to donate a kidney to my son. I've been labeled a pariah before. I've lost my job. Felt like I lost everything. But in my experience, no one's going to pick me up and carry me if I'm not willing to get up and go. Now, I got to tell you, I credit God with everything, and I do without exception. But I also believe that God's not going to hand me a shovel and then dig a hole for me.
Right.
So, what keeps me going is just refusing to quit, but accepting that there are times when I have to take a break.
I didn't get that point hammered home until recently.
Yeah.
When I was doing Uber Eats for a while, and I was doing Uber, and then I too had an accident, and then my car started going wonky, and now it's just sitting out there collecting snow and collecting the air. And my wife, bless her heart, brought a battery charger and a tire inflator. And she said, let's work on getting your car at least functional so we can get it into the shop. The most difficult part for me is getting the money to fix the darn thing.
Yeah.
And I too have been labeled a pariah. I too have been labeled a scam artist, a con man. I mean, the biggest insult I've been given is that someone who used to work with me, who thought he was all of that, and it turned out he wasn't. And he tried double crossing me several hundred times.
Yeah.
He had the nerve to call me a con man. And I know more things on him. I'll tell that in a personal story later. But it's hard sometimes. And it's those times that you take a break and you step back and you wonder, where am I going with this? And then you get away, you get your mind clear, and then all of a sudden, okay, I think I can I think I can do this. And Pixie sounds like something the fans would just jump all over when it launches, when they're in stadiums, no matter what the stadium is.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I was in talks with somebody in Asia this morning about bringing it to concerts over there, music concerts. So I believe it's going to be everywhere. I believe it's going to hit big. But like even that gentleman, when I was talking with him, he said, "Now your competition does some very interesting things. Why even keep going if they are so strong already?" Well, if Burger King looked and said, "Well, McDonald's is already growing so well, we should just not do this," then we wouldn't have Burger King or Wendy's or any of the others today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to be the very best out there. I need to be the very best in here. And if I can be a better me, and if I can overcome most of the trials that face me, man, I'm doing all right. And I say that like it's easy. It's freaking not easy. It's hard.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
not easy. Anyone who has been through what Brian and I have gone through, they know off the bat it's not easy.
right.
Going in,
Right.
got kidney to your child, um, having your wife being told to get her affairs in order, that there's nothing they can do to take a tumor out of you.
No, you don't easily overcome that. You don't just decide. That's not a matter of willpower. That's requires a miracle to get over. And then even after that, you got recovery, and then you got building back up from nothing. Man, Ryan, you're doing huge things. I mean, I know it feels beat down sometimes, but dang, we are conquering the world, man.
We are
I got to tell you,
one step at a time.
I was driving my 16-year-old to work. This is a couple years ago, one morning, and as we got in the car, I said, "Are you ready to conquer the world today?" And her response, I still can't get over it. She kind of guffaws and she goes, "So much pressure." And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, all right. It is a lot of pressure. We're going to conquer the world, but we're going to do it. And this is my fifth. PixSeat is my fifth startup. And I've never had, I've never with my prior four businesses, I've never like walked away and sold them for millions.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I keep going. I keep working at it. I surround myself with good people and keep going.
Surrounding yourself with good people.
Mm-hmm.
That's the toughest thing I've had to do. And to see the circle get smaller, I kept wondering, why are people leaving? And I'll tell you why those people are leaving. They don't believe anymore.
Right.
With everything that's happened, they don't believe anymore. Oh, you'll never be able to do this. I remember being in Chicago, and I took a picture of the ESPN studio downtown. And I said, one day I will have one of these. It will be sponsored by a car company, but it will have my logo on it instead of the ESPN logo. And I posted it on Facebook, and quite a few people said, we can see you doing this. But also there were more people that said, man, you can't beat ESPN. I'm like, freaking watch me.
Watch.
That nerve right there.
Right.
When people say how did Jim Nance put it? Just when people say you can't, you can.
Right.
I still have dreams of building that studio. It may wind up in an RV and be a travel studio, but the hell with it.
Right. My namesake, Bear Bryant, he said, the price of victory is high, but so are the rewards. And I believe that. I live by that, man. I'll tell you what, I've worked with some truly genius people in my career, and I've never been the smartest person in the room, but I've almost always been the hardest working person in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I shouldn't have pride in that, but I am grateful that I'm able to work hard. I'm able to figure things out. And yeah, I'm never going to quit. There's times I've found when it's better to walk away from something, and that's not quitting. But
and that's the problem I've had. When I walk away from something for a little while, a part of me feels like it's quitting. But talking to you and talking to a couple of others, it's not quitting. It's giving your brain a break.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the toughest thing to do when you have an idea and you want to just keep going and seeing what you could do, but then you run out of steam. And then you walk away and it feels like you quit. No, you're not quitting. You're just giving your brain a break.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not allowed to give the results of this. Rebecca and I our PixSeat was selected for a show that's on Amazon Prime. It'll come out here in a couple months. An incubator for startups. And when I started the week of this boot camp on this show where they're doing this documentary, we just got back from it a week ago. At the beginning of the week, I thought we're the best company here. We're the strongest. We're the brightest. We're going to do this. By the end of the week, I thought no chance. Everybody here is making more money than us. They're doing better than us. They got bigger teams than us. But we did really well. I got to tell you, I can't release the results, but we did really well. I'm pretty happy with it. And a big part of that is, like you said, the people we surround ourselves with. But I'm going to go back to what you said about how that circle keeps getting smaller. It does get smaller, and I'm okay with that. The people that don't stick with me, I am better off with them not sticking with me. The people that do hold on to me, I'm like, I won't let go of them for anything.
You know what's what saved me and what saved basically my business, but more me than anything else, was the day I met Jody, my wife.
Yeah.
And man, when I tell you that she raced the clock and saved my life, I do not say that just to be saying that, because I was at a point in 2018 where I'm like, fuck it, I'm walking away. I'm
Yeah.
stepping off of the cliff. I'm going to fall to my death. I don't care anymore. And somehow she knew and raced the clock and yanked me back from that cliff, as if to say, I don't know you, Ned. I don't know you yet, but I need you.
Mhm.
Just that right there gave me a lot of power.
Yeah.
And the way she's been with me through all of my health issues, and having been in a wheelchair for 7 months. When I lost my toe got amputated, I might have to sit in a wheelchair again,
Mhm.
because there may be a second operation to it. I told my wife I have a goal by this fall to not only be walking, but to walk my ass back in a booth and call a game again. I
Heck
like
yeah.
doing them here in studio, but it's so different
Mhm.
being out at the venue.
Yeah.
And maybe that was the thing that I needed to drive me, was to get back in the booth again. I mean, I'm not even going to use the phrase "if all goes well." I am going to say that I will be in Indianapolis, Indiana, for the girls' state final. That is a goal of mine.
There you
That will
go.
be one of the things that will bring me back to game day, and then repeat the feat the following month with boys basketball. And then a couple months after that, in June, to be at Victory Field in Indianapolis for
Mhm.
the baseball finals weekend. If I don't do it in Indy, I'll do it in Joliet, Illinois. You
It's
know,
going to snow on all those places, man.
yep, yep. Just get going.
Yeah.
I so badly. Someone asked me, "What's the one thing you want badder than anything else?" To get back in the booth,
Mhm.
to put the headset back on, put a crowd mic out the window, and call games in person. I haven't done it in 3 years. I
Yeah.
haven't been in the booth in 3 years, since 21, almost 4 years now. It'll be, um, if I don't make it to Indy, it'll be 4 years to the day in April.
Yeah. I believe you can do it, man. I absolutely believe you can do it. I'll tell you what, with being in a wheelchair, I haven't been in a wheelchair, but I had a hip replaced last year. I've got to have my other hip replaced this year. And I don't know how I'm going to do that, but that's what I got to do. It is, for a man, it is crushing to lose your ability to do the things you need to do. I mean, it's like it erases your soul. It sucks everything out of you. It drains you, and it leaves you feeling like you're nothing. You can't get out and do something. Um, but the truth is, we're lying to ourselves, man. We are not what we do. We are who we are. Uh, yes, what we do is important, but the value we bring is the relationships we build, and the people that we support, and the joy we bring people. Uh, yeah, it's important to be able to do things. We should never give up, but we can't let ourselves get defined by our physical limitations.
I want so badly to drive my. I did it once when we had to do a game in Chicago at Soldier Field. I drove us up there. I drove us back. It was so much fun to do, and now I want to do it for a full weekend, and I want to do it soon. I want to tell her we're taking this weekend off, but we're going to Chicago because I promised her some Chicago pizza. Chicago's my hometown.
Oh yeah,
Yep, born and raised Southsider.
I
Born
believe
and-
Jesus loves y'all too. So we'll accept that.
I am a born and raised South Sider, thanks to my dad, my mom, my grandpa, my grandma, everybody that remembers me there. And one of the final chapters closed when my mother died.
Mm,
And we drove back to where I grew up. I took a picture and I took a short video and I said goodbye. Uh, that was September of 21. 2 years after that, September 23, we're driving to Soldier Field. And hopefully 20, no, not hopefully. Let me take that word out of my vocabulary. Later on this spring, gonna drive up to Chicago for a weekend, get a nice hotel room, and I'm gonna take her around my hometown
yeah,
and
absolutely.
explore it my way. There's a lot that needs to go on and to happen, but I'm gonna make it happen.
Heck yeah.
And the toughest, you just said it, the toughest thing when you have surgery and you're out for a while, and I said this on Diary of a Mad Snowman, the two things that will hurt a man the most is to take his family away or take away the ability to sustain his family,
Hmm.
take away the ability to help his family.
Yeah.
When that second item that I felt was taken away from me after I was laying on a hospital table with blood clots in both my lungs, and then I get the note that I was declared disabled, but the state of Indiana won't give me any doggone disability. I felt like I'm in this little box. I'm going,
Yeah.
what the hell am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I've seen people that are not in as bad a condition as I, and they get help.
Yeah.
Why the hell can't I? And then a bell rang in my head when I said that aloud, which led me to my project of Diary of a Mad Snowman, which led me to do this as well, to tell stories of underdogs.
Hmm.
And it's like, that's it. That's how I'm going to fashion this show.
Yeah.
Have people tell their stories of overcoming.
Yep.
And when I read this and we had a chance to talk before we came on the air, I knew this was a great move.
Yeah.
I'm reaching out to everybody. I'm like, I don't care anymore. I'm reaching out to any and everybody that'll at least take a few minutes to read an email from me or a text
Right.
message or whatever, to get a hand somewhere, to
Yeah.
climb that ladder and get back up, and I can reach back down to them, take all of them with me on this road. But what people have to understand, especially with men, and you said it earlier, it is a very difficult road to navigate, especially when society tries to pull that some bitch out from under you.
Yeah. And they do. They do.
Well, they're not going to pull it out from under us.
No. No. We're never going to quit. Never going to give up. But like I said, we do have to allow ourselves failure. We do have to allow ourselves a break. We do have to allow ourselves to have downtime, to
Hmm.
have down days. Man, if you never accept that you're not allowed to fail, if you never accept that you're allowed to fail, then failure is entirely destructive. So I say I'm going to fail sometimes. In fact, I'm going to fail a lot.
Hmm.
Um, Thomas Edison, how many times did he fail making a light bulb before he got one to work? Um, he never gave up. I'm in that boat.
Yeah.
I haven't decided what I'm gonna do when I grow up, but I'm having fun figuring it out.
Listen, I am a big old 52-year-old kid.
Same
I
here.
still watch cartoons. I still watch my old game shows. I'm a sports nerd to my heart.
Yeah,
Keeping everything simple, and I'm slowly beginning to apply it to business. I have days where I'm like, okay, write the day off, go do something, get away,
yeah,
and breathe. That's what my wife coaches me to do all the time. Like, just breathe, man. And it's fun when I'm here in studio, and it's like, okay, I'm running into a wall, but she'll hop behind me and pull a pure laugh out of me when no one else would.
hmm,
And I looked at her one day when I was doing a Colts game. I was doing a live stream for a Colts game, and the Colts were losing. She peeks in here and goes, "You're not calling the game right." My friends heard that on the air, and we all died laughing.
That is awesome.
We died laughing.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, I can finish the game now. I
Yeah.
finished that one, took a break, and then got ready to do a second game, which features my team, the 49ers. Hey, Joe Montana made me a 49er fan for life.
There you go.
And here she goes again. She walked in and she said, "How can you be a fan of a team that features numbers?" And I lost it again.
I like her.
I lost it. I lost it again. And I went to bed. I wrapped up, went to bed, and I said, "How do you do that?" She says, "Apparently you think I'm hilarious." Baby, you are hilarious.
Yeah.
Your timing's impeccable. She's the reason, and my children are the reason I fight every day, even on days when I'm down. But I'm so glad we got to do this. You have perked me up, my friend.
Oh man, you lift me up. And you know what? I do believe in the human spirit. I do believe in God guiding us. I don't see anything limiting you. We've all got limitations, but there's nothing that's going to stop us from accomplishing our dreams. You got it, man. I'm excited for you.
I'm excited for you.
And I need to know what are the dates of these games so I can tune in and listen to you leading them.
Well, the first one I'm going to do is Sunday, and I'll send you all the information. It's going to be an alternative play-by-play call for women's basketball. Two games are planned, and then the following Sunday is Super Bowl Sunday. So I'm putting this headset on and I'm jumping all over that.
Yeah.
And once again becoming the third black sports announcer to call a Super Bowl, following the examples of the late great Greg Gumbel and one of my good buddies, Dave Sims.
Yeah.
Who did the Super Bowl for Westwood One for a few years. And I said that sentence out loud. And Jody was the first one to throw a detractor statement at me, to keep me motivated. She says, "Well, it's on YouTube. This doesn't count. You want to bet? It counts to me."
Shoot, the White House just announced yesterday that alternative media is going to have the front seat in the White House media room.
Yep.
Don't tell me that alternative media isn't going to get
alternative media is going to be something else.
Yeah.
That's why I'm lining everything up now.
Yep.
Man, thank you so much for coming on this afternoon. I truly appreciate it.
100%.
PixSeat and Brian Haynes, if you haven't had a chance to check them out, go research them. You can find them everywhere on social media. It's spelled PixSeat. Go check them out. It's going to be the wave of the future, just like alternative media is. So long, everybody.
Thank you for tuning into The Brian Snow Show, where sports is the base, life and fun are the results.